We're back with some OM and some Imperial Guard today. We've got some sort of really weird battle between the Ordo Malleus, led by a brother captain, and an Ordo Hereticus Inquisitor, leading some Imperial Guard. So I don't know what's going on here. I don't know, I guess the Ordo Hereticus Inquisitor ended up being a little bit heretical herself. And the Ordo Malleus have decided, yep, she's got to go. She's just gone too far. But we'll see. It's Bestie and Pax. And first thing I'll note on this map, so we're on the Redux of Ashes of Typhon, so all this side of the map's a little bit more open, and we've got all the VPs in the middle rather than naturals on the side. So triple contested VPs. What I will say is this is a map that doesn't have a lot of green cover, and the cover that does exist in this map can all be destroyed by the Sentinel. So that naturally makes it one of the best maps for Imperial Guard in the game. However, it's a big map, so Imperial Guard do generally like to blob, and they're going to struggle with map control if they're blobbing quite a lot on this map. So you've got to play it a little bit different, I think. Your Sentinel's going to be really strong, but your Guardsmen are going to be less so. Oh wow, look at that. Takes a model off the strike squad straight away. That was very lucky, Jesus. Normally the scatter on the Sentinel gun's kind of crazy, and it distributes the damage between all the models. Anyway, you probably want to play it tight with Guardsmen running around with 6 models. You might even want to get a third Guardsman squad, believe it or not, which is something that we don't really see in the meta these days as per a long time, ever since the Sergeant got increasing pop cost, because it puts more of a drain on your economy via more upkeep. But yeah, you might want to consider it on a map like this. Otherwise, generally, going for fewer gens, getting out Catachan squads early, and I do say Catachans, plural, could be quite good on a map like this. Now, Pax is doing something a little bit interesting here. Okay, I didn't actually realise this, but one node gets you the optimal timing on your purgation, apparently. Node generator, one node. So going to drop down the Holy Pyre. We've got the Stomp now coming out for the Sentinel. And this could be pretty brutal. Hits 2 of the models, that's pretty good. Now, can this Strike Squad model proc a special on the Inquisitor? No, it can't. And she's going to slay that Grey Knight. 2 Grey Knights dead already. That's pretty brutal when only 2 Guardsmen have died. Oh, that's going to be a nice special attack though from the BC. Can he claim another Guardsman? Nope, that's not a great special. He's got to retreat. Actually, no, he should be okay. Well, actually, no, I don't know. Hammer of the Witches. Sentinel can chase. He's got 50 HP. I don't know if the Sentinel can take this out. It's going to be RNG on how much the Sentinel can hit and how much it misses. Yeah, you can't get it. Fuck. Well, that was relatively close, but not going to happen. So what was interesting about Pax's build was only going for 2 opening units, but not dropping any gens. But apparently, no gens optimizes your purgation speed. I was going to say, why are they still capping? I'm just going to brute force the cap still. Yeah, pretty vulnerable to the Sentinels is the good old purgation. Rosarius is an interesting choice against Grey Knights, generally not really encouraged because of the fact that when they get the Tomes of Titan, they can drain your energy with their energy burst. So it basically just negates half of the value of the Rosarius instantly. And they will generally go for that because it's more health on them too, so... And the HP regen out of combat is absolutely vital when they're getting chipped away at by all these lasguns. Now IST are not really too great in this matchup. They just don't trade very well at all. They're so vulnerable to the Guardsman, just running in here for a grenade. But wow, that was a fucking swing and a miss. Jesus Christ, Pax, what was that? Quite lucky really to be this low on HP and at 5 models. But I'm a little bit confused as to what the plan is here for Bestie. He hasn't got any further units out, and he's actually let the Purgation get in. Probably going to get 2 gens, which is really bad for him actually. His economy is very imbalanced. It's already heavy on power. And now he's wasting more requisition to replace these gens. Probably gets a Purgation model. Wow, doesn't. Seriously? Hammer of the Witches? Claim the model? Oh, a bit late. I think that's... yeah, it's going to get out. It's too long. Could have definitely got a model there with Hammer of the Witches, but he was too slow. Bestie, clearly, rather sloppy. That's okay, it could produce a beautiful game for us. Pax right now is looking like he's a lot further ahead in tech. Not really, actually. Pax is behind on the power. Well, he was ahead on the requisition. He's now spent that to replace the power node, so we'll see how that fares for him. Again, just brute forcing forward, but really the IST should not be the ones going forward first, because they bleed, you know, less HP than the strike squad, and not only that, more models, and also light infantry versus the heavy of the strike squad. So this is good by Bestie to focus on the IST even when the strikes are closer. He gets one of the IST models, nothing too big. And Bestie's just going to rush tier 2. Now, I don't know about this, man. The main problem is he doesn't have enough red to get a Bane Wolf. See the energy burst there, going to drain a lot of the Rosarius, but this is not a fight that Pack should be taking. Not with the Sentinel there to stomp. There's just not enough support. Maybe if you had a BC as well. Another dead Strike Squad model. Is that 3 Strike Squad models he's lost? Purgation have done relatively well just with the whole business of gen bashing. I mean, that's a node and 2 generators that they've taken out. That basically pays for themselves. If you guys seen my 2v2 video from a while back where I was playing some Ordo Malleus, my silencer purgation in tier 2 were absolutely insane versus IG. Now, to be fair, that was a smaller map with more of a lane situation going on, so a setup team could generate a lot of value with the brother captain tanking in front. But point is, silencer, well, it's not a silencer, is it? It's a Psy Cannon. Psy Cannon purgation can provide a lot of value against IG, so it'll be interesting to see how they do in tier 2. Strike Squad getting their Justicar will be very important as well. That's buffing up the health of literally everyone in the squad, going to make them way more resilient to las guns, but then that can be compensated for by the guardsmen getting plasma guns. The other thing the Justicar does though is it doubles the damage that their banishment can do. So again, very, very helpful. And Purgation, sneaky, sneaky boys. They're going to sneak around the back. They're going to go for another Gen Bash. Don't know if the Stomp's been used. I believe it has. Used it back over there on the Strike Squad. He's just threatening now, baiting. It looks like Pax took the bluff. So Bestie got to tier 2 as well, and he immediately called in some Stormtroopers, so that's where his red has gone. Nice use of the Purge by Fire here to stall the Inquisitor. She manages to claim one of the Strike Squad models with a Plasma Pistol, and another one with a Holy Brazier. Damn. BC's going to get involved now. What the Strike Squad doing? Running into base. Yeah, get them out. Definitely need the Strike Squad. Very useful tool, especially when the Inquisitor's got a Rosarius. Now here comes the Heavy Bolter Rhino. Pretty meta. Generally, you want to, in your first Alpha Strike with the Heavy Bolter Rhino, kill the Sentinel, which you should be able to now. Oh my god, he missed microed. Woo, he got it. Because the problem is, if you don't kill that Sentinel, it can pick up a missile launcher and very quickly cause you problems with your Rhino. And that would be, well, it would be freaking awful, to be honest. If the Sentinel just grabs a missile launcher, kills your Rhino straight away. So you see, now that the Sentinel has gone down, we see the Melter Stormtroopers coming out for Bestie instead, and this is quite aggressive usage of the Rhino. He obviously didn't spot the Melter Stormtroopers, but they're going to get suppressed by the Purgation. They need to get out Hell Fury on them. Oh, they're going to die. They're so dead. But the Stormtroopers standing in the Hell Fury, they're going to get forced off. But the Purgation died, so no Psycon and Purgation for us, boys. I doubt he's going to be replacing that Purgation squad at this point. But the Rhino lives. However, Ogrins are out. Ogrins are difficult for the Ordo Malleus to deal with, because the Ordo Malleus already doesn't have a lot of range damage, and the range damage that they do have, Storm Bolters, Hot Shot Lasguns, Heavy Bolters on a Rhino, it's all piercing. So the super heavy infantry, the Ogrins, just doesn't give a fuck. But here comes some Plasma Guns. We've got Mind Blades here on the Strike Squad, which is buffing their melee damage and giving them increased melee skill, which means as soon as Use Your Head wears off, the Strike Squad are going to dominate the Ogrins in melee. So to counter this as the Imperial Guard, you need to get a Primaris Psyker. And then the Primaris Psyker can drop down the Telekinetic Dome, which will increase the damage resistance of the Ogrins, but also increase the melee skill of the Ogrins. And then they'll be on a much more even level with the Strike Squad, even if they have Mind Blades. And if they don't have Mind Blades, the Ogrins will wipe the floor with them. Then you can also use the snare ability from the primary psyker, and that will make the target model or unit take more melee damage. So if you combine the telekinetic dome and the snare on the strike squad, the Ogrins will absolutely manhandle them in melee. And to counter that, Pax needs to get inside the Rhino, drive away, get out and not fight in the dome. I'm just going to keep elaborating on that. To then counter them from running away from the dome, what you do is you save, you use your red, because it has 2 procs of knockback, you save that for when they're in melee. You activate the dome first, when the strike squad engage the Ogrins, then you activate use your red. Anyway, a little bit of sloppy micro there once again from Bestie, taking a bit too long to retreat from that instance, confident fighting the brother captain, but not so confident fighting the strike squad. However, Pax right now, screwing up a little bit, not getting his Razorback out of there. He needs to stop driving and just force melee with the Stormtroopers. Stop driving, Pax. If they force melee, then they can't do anything. Okay, he's actually going to get out. Wow, that was very lucky. I'm not sure if there was a little bit of delay there from... Okay, Brother Captain's going to get killed by the Ogrins. I'm not sure if Bestie delayed his micro. You guys will be able to go back and see that. There might have been an opportunity for the Rhino to die there. What Pax should be doing... He just stop moving the Rhino. Keep it still. So if you force melees, he's just going to start meleeing the fucking Rhino whilst you repair it with the IST. You add the Brother Captain chasing, so he can't stop and shoot you because he's going to get tied up in melee. Now, in order to get more anti-vehicle... Sorry, not anti-vehicle. In order to get more anti-heavy infantry DPS out, Pax goes for the Purifiers. So Purifiers are better than the Strike Squad dealing with the Ogrins, because the Strike Squad have their halberds here, which are all normal melee, and then the Justicar has a power sword, which is power melee, whereas the Purifiers all do power melee with their swords, and then the Justicar has a Thunder Hammer, which is heavy melee, but it has a really nice special attack. And these guys are a little bit tougher as well. You can see the difference in the HP there. We're looking at 2,150 on the Purifiers, to the 1,952 of the upgraded Tomes of Titan level 2 Strike Squad. So Purifiers, just in general, a bit more of an elite melee squad than the Strike Squads, but they don't have the supporting abilities of Banishment, the ability to give energy, the ability to drain energy enemy. God. To drain enemy energy. Why is that so difficult for me? But we'll see. And then in order to counter that, you have a Chimera. Because Pax has invested in all this melee, you've got a nice speedy transport right now. Obviously there's a heavy bolter Rhino, so that can't deal with the Chimera. So he can exert a lot of pressure with this Chimera. You know, there's no snares right now. Pax is going to be going for a Purgation Squad, presumably going to be slapping a beamer on that, a conversion beamer, so that he can snare this Chimera. Now if he can hit the Chimera with a nice snare from the beamer, then the Purifiers can go in and the heavy melee of the Thunder Hammer could actually take apart this Chimera. We'll have to see. Right now there's really not much to deal with the Chimera. I mean, there's nothing. You're not going to be able to catch a transport with your melee. Yeah, this is looking like a very dubious fight here for the Grey Knights. They're taking way too much range pew pew. And now the Ogren's running in. I don't know about this fight, man. Okay, he's dropping the Mind Blades. He drops the Mind Blades on the Strike Squad, which is weird. I would not do that. Cleansing Flame activated on the Purifiers there. Wow, oh my god, they're gonna kill... Wow, they didn't even chase that. Okay, he goes for the Psycannon anyway. Damn, he goes for a Psycannon versus the Chimera. That's kind of bold. And it turns out to be a pretty good engagement here for the Grey Knights. We've got a heavy bolter, heavy weapons team set up in the back lines here that's suppressing the Purifiers and the Strike Squad. I don't know, man. We get a nice little bonk there from the Thunder Hammer, but not too much. Wow, this is so much bleed. Check out the requisition income right now for Pax. Well, not the income, but his amount in the bank. Oh, a miss micro there from Bestie. He obviously thought those guys would go inside the Chimera, but they didn't. And they just get wiped by the Grey Knight melee. Brother Captain the whole time capping. Pax always does this with the Brother Captain. He just uses him as a side capper, and I don't like it. You know, some nice war gears in that engagement could have really turned things. Made it a little bit less atrocious. You know, he wins the battle, but will he win the war? I don't know. That's a lot of bleed. Now he's bleeding even more with the IST. can't even reinforce his fucking purifiers. Nice Hell Fury strike there. It's probably going to deter the purgation. If nothing else, it softens it up a bit. That was a good energy burst. Yeah, look at the focus fire with the heavy bolter on the front, the pintle mounted heavy bolter, the last cannon turret, the last turret even, the last cannon turret. I don't know, this is a lot of bleed. Ogren's coming out again. To be fair, Bestie's basically spent all of his resources as well. Okay, Canticle of Absolution dropped down right now with Pax. Makes sense, he's got a shitload of red, hasn't he? Jeez. More Melter Stormtroopers, this time on rear armor. That's going to wipe that thing instantly. Needs to drop the smoke. He doesn't. Lost the Rhino, and he's going to lose the Purifiers too. Oh god. Oh wow. Was Mind Blades on cooldown? Really should be dropping Mind Blades on the Purifiers in those fights with the Ogrins. I mean, just think guys, this is Ogrins without a Psyker to support them. Just imagine how bad these fights would be if the Ogrins had a Psyker. The Guardsmen are even running around without plasma guns. So, I don't know. I don't know. Not sure about this. Pax seems like he's in a pretty bad spot right now. He can drag this out for a while because he's got a lot of VPs, but I don't know how successful this is going to be honest with you. Oh man. Ogrins were already really low there. There were no way that he was going to take that fight with Psychon and setting up in the back lines. That was definitely not a time to be dropping Mind Blades on the Strike Squad, and it's more or less just wasted. Just rocking a Sergeant? Yeah, just rocking a Sergeant on the Guardsmen. Basically just ferrying them around in the Chimera for the boost in damage and all that. See, there's just not enough anti-vehicle DPS coming out of the Psy Cannon. Bestie just has no fear of it. He just sits there, shoots it, and drops a Hell Fury to force it off quicker. Doesn't even have to try and evade its fire arc. Which he could if he wanted to, he's just being lazy. Pretty lucky special there from the Inquisitor. Both level 3. Both got the opportunity to proc specials on one another. Metal Stormtroopers on the sideline is going to be taking this VPs. Getting the VPs back in favour of Bestie. And Bestie going to be replacing his heavy weapons team. Yeah, I mean, I guess there's not really a proper counter to the heavy bolter, is there? Maybe Pax wants to go for a Dreadnought or something? Not really sure. Could go for a Las Cannon Rhino. That'd be an option. The Las Cannon Rhino into a Terminator Librarian could be cool. See, both of the sub-commanders for these factions are very good at dealing with melee. Terminator Librarian gets that Sanctuary for constant knockback in a bubble. And that could deter the Ogrins, protect your Purgation. Level 4 Chimera, I was wondering how is that taking so little damage? Because it's got a shitload of HP, man. Oh my god. Literally got 50% more HP than a normal Chimera. Damn. That's insane. Let's have a look at the levels on these guys. Yeah, okay, we've got level 4 BC somehow. Nearly level 4 IST, 3.5 on the strikes. Level 3 Ogrins, that's scary. That's actually really scary. He went for the little plasma overcharge there, but missed. And the Ogrins and the Inquisitors are going to push forward. Chimera probably just going to flank. He used aggressively. You see, he's got the heavy bolter on the back line, so that will protect him quite a lot. Plasma gun's doing some nice damage to the Ogrins. Oh, I don't know what's... He's trying to keep the Purgation in play, but... I don't know, man. It feels kind of futile. He's now replaced the Purifiers, but this is what the heavy bolter weapons team is all about. Purifiers, you see there how they started their charge from really long range. Just one of the innate factors of them. But Mind Blades here on the Strike Squad, pretty scary. They're flanked by the Purifiers, but then the damage of all the Grey Knights gets debuffed by the Holy Pyre. Brazier fucking Inquisitor right now, kicking booty. And the heavy weapons team pops out and it's going to suppress this Grey Knight melee. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like the repurchasing of the Purifiers here. This Chimera is a serious problem. We should not have seen a Psy Cannon. Needed to get a conversion beamer. Really disrespected the power of the Chimera, did Pax. Really needed a conversion beamer, not a side cannon. This Chimera has been an absolute plague. I'm telling you, if this Chimera wasn't here, it would have been so easy for him to counter Bestie's composition. Understood. And so right now, given the situation he was in, rather than getting the Purifiers, I would have got a Las Rhino. Tried to hunt the Chimera with that. It's going to be tough to kill it, because the Las Rhino only does 100 damage per shot. This thing now has got 750 HP because it's level 4. So 8 shots from a Las Cannon. Rhino that's a lot, man. But, you know, it would have forced a Las Cannon out of the heavy weapons team. That's not too hard to deal with. Strike Squad can go in and deal with that. And then, once you've dealt with the Chimera, or even if you haven't dealt with it, you can then go for an Automalice Librarian. Then that protects your Side Cannon. You can get Might of the Titan to AoE buff the melee resistance and the melee skill of the Strike Squad so they can beat the Ogrins. You can get the Sanctuary to help the Strike Squad beat the Ogrins and protect the Purgation from the Inquisitor of the Ogrins. I think that would have been better. Let's see how this engagement goes though. Let's have a click on the Inquisitor since we can't see a HP bar. This is a beautiful play. The Hell Fury into the Use Your Head into the Holy Pyre, and the Use Your Head actually pushes the Grey Knights back into the Hell Fury, and oh my god, that is so much bleed. That was a nice execution of ability usage there. Check out the VPs though. VPs are super even right now. IST just been running around the side capping VPs. They took the contested. Obviously we know that the Brother Captain's been doing that. That's all the Brother Captain does under Pax's command. And another call in for Stormtroopers here apparently. Power Fist, Grey Knight Dreadnought. Wow, Pax just doesn't give a shit about the Chimera, does he? He doesn't want to kill it. I guess, yeah, you can't really go for the multi-melter though when the Ogren's putting in all this work, now level 4. Gets the decap on this VP, but Melter Stormtroopers rotated to the mid and they're going to be capping that. No AV right now to deal with the Grey Knight Dreadnought, so that thing can just walk into the Heavy Bolter. Let's see, is the last cannon on the way? Indeed it is. So that guy's going to soft retreat away. Ogrins could zone for a bit, but they don't really want to get close to this thing with its Force Glaive and its Force Fist. Wow. A little bit of a error there from Bestie. Forgot about his Stormtroopers. Maybe that was a foot grenade that went awry, I'm not sure. This will be another instance to drop the Mind Blades, honestly. Maybe even Canticle of Absolution for the regen. Wow, Melter Stormtroopers getting ripped to pieces by this Strike Squad. But they got to get out of there. Ogren's Inquisitor and the Chimera putting out a lot of DPS. Nice special attack from the Grey Knight Dreadnought, but shouldn't be able to claim the life of the last cannon. Nah, it just gets inside the Chimera, and this is a problem now. Because, do you chase the Chimera? Oh, well then you've got Melters shooting you in the back. Do you chase the Melters? Oh, well now the last cannon can get out of the Chimera and snare you. So... yeah. No, you're not getting out of there, Pax. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. Assuming the Melters chase. Yeah, look at the range on this last cannon. It's a dead Dreadnought. Yeah, I don't know. Melee Dreadnought. Questionable. Again, the Chimera saved the fucking last cannon. Transported it away. Chimera MVP, boys. Absolute MVP. Ogren's close second. Chimera MVP. I think Pax is going to lose this. He doesn't have enough units at this point. ISC getting annihilated by all this firepower. They stay to throw a grenade to delay the cap from the Stormtroopers, but it cost them their life. Ah well. What are you going to do? 999 red for Pax right now. But the Chimera will deal with this Brother Captain. Look at the DPS from the Chimera now as well, level 4. What is it? 1.3 DPS I think you do in... oh, is that in range or is that in melee? If you're level 4. Can't remember. Good situation here for the Strike Squad with the Mind Blaze and the Canticle. Well, actually... man. They're actually getting wrecked. Wow. Level 4 Ogren's amazing. Well, there you go, and that is the concede. Obviously, no way for Pax to contest these VPs at this point. Whew, that was quite a scrap. Jeez, a lot of melee action, and it's a bit weird on a big map like this. I feel like we've seen loads of army versus army fights, and I feel like you definitely don't need to do that on a map like this because it's so big. But yeah, cool to see anyway. Nice to see Order Melis and nice to see IG. So I guess, wow, the Heretical Inquisitor just slays a bunch of Grey Knights and fucking leaves. God, she's going to become a fucking champion of Khorne or something. Very impressive. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Hope you did enjoy. If you want more of this stuff, check out the Patreon. We've got lots of high-level 1v1 replays on there, which you get immediate access for just £5 a month. That is going to be all from your boy Torpid. This time, I am signing out.